It's showtime, baby. Let's go. Woo!
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of my new pregame show we're going to be having at the Moorline Lager House each and every Bengals home game, along with every Tuesday. We'll be live there at the Moorline House. Corey Dillon will be there. Well, not live at the Moorline House, but he'll be, on the internet with me, Long Bengals captain, and whatever guests I can get on the show on Tuesdays. But please make sure you check us out on Sundays, pre-gaming for the Bengals game. Details to come on the price point and all that stuff, but I just want to get that out there and shout out to Moorline House. Also, show's brought to you by Midwest Best Barbecue, the best barbecue around. Check them out. Get some CTB wings, some Uno wings, some G-Funk. Everything's there delicious. Also, brought to you by Meyer Door and Windows. Check them out for all your window and door needs at www.meyercincinnati.com. Also, one more. Hail Marys, your ticket to the game. Check them out there tonight. They have food trucks, beer specials, free parking. If you're going to a concert or something before the game, you can stop. You can stop there before the concert. Who knows? Anyway, what is going on with everybody in the chat? Who we got in there? Let's see here. Brad's in there first. Paul Painter's in there. And Tony Blaze. Got three, and you guys are blowing the chat up. I appreciate it. Let's get to my first guest of the evening. He is only here for a short time because he's going to a concert tonight. I'm pretty jealous, but he is on the Bengals beat. He's the one, the only, Jay Morrison. What's going on, Jay?
Least surprising development ever, right? I'm going to a concert tonight.
Shocking. What concert are you going to see tonight?
So this is like a concert light. It's it's a tribute band. It's the Foos Fighters, F-O-O-Z instead of Foo Fighters, and we saw them last year. They're a lot of fun. The lead singer is as committed to a gig as anyone I've ever seen.
Nice.
He has the same tattoos as Dave Grohl.
Really?
He has the same guitar as Dave Grohl. He looks like Dave Grohl. The rest of the band look like themselves. They don't look like the other members, but yeah, it's a really good time, and
sounds awesome.
It's free. So
that's even better. Free's always good for me. So Jay, you got to get you out of here at 6. So let's jump into this really quickly. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's start. I got a list of questions here, and we can just go down the line here. But your grades for this offseason, with the guys that they signed, they drafted, and what you've seen at minicamp and OTAs.
My grades?
Yeah, as far as like storylines, stuff like that. How do you think the offseason is going so far?
Yeah, I would go B+ on the draft, and the free agency maybe ticks it up to A-. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell any team in OTAs, and especially the Bengals. They do so little competitive work. You can't glean a whole lot. It's more about where guys are as opposed to how they're performing, especially when you're talking about the trenches, the O-line, the D-line. So I'd be uncomfortable. I put an incomplete on performances of this offseason. But, yeah, I think they did a great job in the draft and in free agency. And this roster looks really good. There's still a few spots that you think are a little thin, specifically linebacker. I don't know if something happens to Logan or Jermaine. ADG's back, but there's some questions there. And then interior offensive line is the big one. They drafted Matt Lee in the 7th round. They are very high on him. They let Max Sharping walk. I guess, if something were to happen to Ted Karras, it's either Trey Hill, who's really not shown anything so far, or or Matt Lee, who they drafted in the 7th round. So I think that's a little dicey, and it's probably a reason they went ahead and extended Ted Karras for another year.
Right.
But yeah, every team's going to have that. Nobody has a completely solid 2 or 3 deep, and they do still have 3 roster spots open. And I would expect they're going to add a couple veterans right before camp. Maybe interior O-line, maybe cornerback.
That's one. That's the other one I'm concerned about. It's backup cornerback.
Yeah, because you've got Dax and DJ fighting for the starting job. They love Cam Taylor-Britt. Josh Newton certainly looks the part. We don't know when DJ Ivy's coming back. Jalen Davis is a nice backup to Mike Hilton in the slot, but I don't know if you'd be comfortable with him having to start a lot of games. And outside of Mike Hilton, it's a pretty young group. And I think getting a veteran guy, a veteran outside corner would make a lot of sense there, especially how uneasy rookies make Lou. And they're not all rookies, but
well, you got Dax Hill trying to play outside that he's never played before, so that's one I'm kind of concerned about.
Yeah, hasn't played it in the league. He did play it in college, and
right.
And he's looked pretty good. We had Lou Anarumo on our podcast, and he was talking about how Dax seems to have his sea legs now after this offseason, and he's not. He made a few mistakes early, but he's not repeating them, and it feels smoother and like it's progressing better than what they saw last year at safety, where he was making a lot of the same mistakes in week 10, week 11, week 12 when you thought those would have been behind him.
Right. Now, that's like I said, that is one that's concerning. And this is the question I have for you as far as Dax. Do you think keeping him at one position is going to help him? Because he's not, because they always call him jack of all trades. He can do all kinds of different stuff, which he can. But I think the pressure of trying to make the play calls and all that stuff got to him and trying to get everybody lined up. You think him just concentrating on cornerback is just going to help him develop faster, hopefully? Yeah,
I don't think, because he was pretty much one position last year. It was just I think he's more comfortable at reading and reacting and covering and just and tracking the ball and following a receiver as opposed to playing that center field. A lot of what he did was assignment error, and a lot was just taking bad angles. And you don't do that when you're at corner. I mean, maybe as a cornerback you do that in the run game. Sometimes you take a poor angle and it can really cost the team, but you've got other guys behind you. He was the last line of defense a lot of times on safety, and it didn't work out. And I don't know that he's going to be, if he doesn't beat out DJ Turner, then I think you're going to see him kind of return to that jack of all trades, and maybe he is a box safety on one play, and maybe he's the backup to Mike Hilton if Mike Hilton has to take some time off or even just needs a rest here or there, and then he could be out at outside corner if Cam needs a break or if DJ doesn't do well. So his athleticism is his greatest strength, but I think if you need the position you want him at is probably slot corner is probably the best, but he's not going to unseat Mike Hilton. So maybe he moves again next year. Maybe he plays outside corner this year, and then they move him into the slot next year. But I do think that corner is a much better fit for him than safety.
So if they do end up moving him to slot corner, because I do honestly think that's his best position, the first round pick, does that make it look even worse if you potentially drafted a first round guy for a slot corner? Because normally slot corners are not first round picks.
No, I mean I guess if you drafted him there and stuck him right away, it would be a head scratching. But I think everybody understands the evolution and the trajectory of his career, and sometimes it just takes a while to figure it out. And slot corners maybe don't get paid as well as outside corners, so he might, especially coming after this year, he's going to start be thinking about that second contract. So maybe that could be an issue. But yeah, no, I just everybody knows he can play. It's not like he's not. I think he'll be fine. It's finding the right spot. Yeah, I
think he'll be fine. As long as, especially if Lou says he's got his C's legs under him, that was the thing for me is if he gets to the point where he doesn't have to think, like you're just saying, read and react. If he gets to that point, I think he's going to be fine outside quarterback, to be honest. Now, my other question is safety. And I just assumed, and this is no slight on Jordan Battle. I love Jordan Battle, but I just assumed that Bell has probably got the inside track to start. And I've had a couple other people on here going, well, I don't know. He might just be here just to help Jordan, get better. and Jordan might start. I think he's gonna mix and match them all and do the 3 safety set more. But I do think Bell, at least at the beginning of the season, is going to start. What's your thoughts on Bell? Will he start or will Battle be it?
Yeah, I mean, Vaughn is here to get everybody on the same page and to, be that leader back at the back end of the defense. And they've already seen it with the way he's acting in the meeting rooms and on the practices in OTAs. And, you do wonder he's on that wrong side of 30, and you just don't know when. It doesn't mean when you hit 30 you're going to fall apart, but you just never know when that cliff is coming.
Right.
And so I think that's a great insurance policy to have a Jordan Battle waiting in the wings. And I asked Lou about that. I was like, are you worried about stunting Jordan's growth? Now you go out and sign 2 guys in free agency that are going to start ahead of him. And he said Geno Stone and Von Bell are the best thing that could have happened to Jordan Battle. And they've been around for a long time. They've seen a lot. They have great football intelligence, and they're going to help him come along. And I wonder if, kind of like what you said, Vaughn is here to get everybody on the same page, and you get to week 5, week 6, and this thing is moving really well, and Jordan's looking like the better athlete in practice, then maybe we see him supplant Vaughn. And it's interesting. I pointed this out before. Von Bell hardly played special teams at all when he was here before. He would be like on field goal and extra point block, but that was about it. And we've seen him out there on punt teams during this OTA. So maybe they're kind of laying that groundwork where if Jordan does supplant him, Vaughn still needs to have a role on this team. Right. If you're going to dress him on game day, he's got to be able to do something. So, maybe that's just me reading too much into it, but it could be some sort of a longer term plan. And I do think either way, even if Vaughn never loses his starting job, you're still going to see Jordan Battle play. Lou's going to find a way to get that guy on the field in 3 safety sets. And, he has the mad scientist nickname for a reason. And he's going to mix and match that secondary and come up with the best scheme for whoever the opponent is on a given week.
Yeah, you guys have been able to watch practice more than I have since they got the indoor practice facility. I can't watch them, so I haven't been on the bridge that much. I'm like, daggone it. So I'm missing that. Hopefully training camp. I think training camp's gonna be mostly outside, but it
is all outside. There's no in stadium practice.
Great, good. Then I can watch it now.
They might go in the bubble if there's bad weather.
Right.
But right now, everything's planned to be outside.
I'll be out there with you sweating my ass off.
Me too.
Exactly. All right, I got a good question here from Paul, and I will get your thoughts on this too. Is thoughts on the potential quarterback cap, and where they're doing their own putting aside the quarterback and saying, all right, this money is allotted for the quarterback through all for all NFL, and that doesn't count against your cap. It's a separate cap. If I'm understanding that right, that's what they're discussing there, Jay?
I think it's interesting. I think anytime you have something like this, there's unintended consequences. I haven't seen all the details of how it would work. For instance, if a team goes in Caleb Williams this year, say, are they still going to have the same rookie scale? And if that's the case, then no quarterback's ever going to get an extension until his 4 years are up, because teams are going to. Like, why? Let's let him play out his rookie year or his rookie deal. I think it would be great for the Bengals because they've got Joe Burrow under contract through 2029. And by the time he would come around again, there would be no negotiating. It's okay. This is what the number is. It feels like at some point it would, if they're going to do that, you're going to have the top, 12 to 14 quarterbacks in the league are all going to be making the exact same money. Whatever the cap is, that's what they're going to be making. So, yeah, it's interesting. I would like to see more details on how it would work. I know Dan Patrick's been pitching that idea on his show for years, and now the league is starting to maybe put it into action. But I haven't dove too much into the inside, other than just the general quarterback versus rest of players caps. I do like the idea, but I need to see it some more.
All right, exactly. Now, Chop's got a good question here for you. I kind of did a little thing about this. What does Jay think the third helmet will be? I'm hoping for the original Pumpkinhead throwback. What about you guys? I wouldn't mind that, or just do. I've always said the opposite. Do the black helmet with the orange stripes. Well, what do you think it might be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is an organization that listens to their fan base, and there was an uproar over them going to the block B on the field instead of leaping tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Might they do a leaping tiger helmet to
Yeah.
appease those people. That's never been a helmet, but neither has the black and orange reversed.
All right.
So yeah, I'm not sure which way that's going to go. I would be a fan of the pumpkin, the block Bengals. I grew up in that era. That's first game I ever went to was 1976, and so I remember those helmets well. And I've been watching a lot of those clips. I'm doing a lot of lists this summer. Best Bengals quarterbacks, best Bengals wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Currently working on best Bengals nicknames of all time, and I have gone back and watched a lot of YouTube clips.
Did you put Jackpot in there? Did Jackpot Joey make?
No, you gotta be a player. You gotta. Oh no. John, for Burrow, See, like him and McPherson have multiple nicknames, so it's hard. It's like what's the official one?
Right, I know. I don't. Just don't call him Joe Cool. That's freaking Joe Montana. I'm like,
right.
I like I said, I don't care. I call him Jackpot, but you can call him whatever you want. Just don't call him that because that's Joe Montana. I'm like, I can't do that. that's just me. But yeah, your list, and I love it. The quarterback one, and between Andy Dalton and Carson Palmer. And everybody like me, I took Andy Dalton over Carson because Carson quit. But what I brought up off of your list, and I'm not saying right now, but eventually on the next wave of players for the Ring of Honor, when they do a new list, AJ Green, Geno Atkins, Whitworth, and I think Andy Dalton is on that list too. I mean, I think Andy Dalton is a guy that deserves to have a shot at being in the Ring of Honor. I mean, he's still, even though Joe Burrow's taken us to the AFC Championship back-to-back years, Andy Dalton is the only quarterback taking us to 5 straight playoffs. We've lost every single one of them, but he took us to them. That was the most successful, winning section of years that we've had as the organization. To me, that guy deserves to at least be given a chance to be in the Ring of Honor. Am I crazy on this? Because some people think, oh, I'll never forgive him for we didn't win in prime time. We didn't win this. I'm like, yeah, but he did win more than he lost.
Yeah, I mean, the further these guys get away from their careers, I think people. The buts kind of dissolve a little bit. I mean, fans hated Corey Dillon when he left, and now
I'm not saying that. Yep, good.
He might be the guy that goes in this year. You might actually get it. You mentioned the Moorline House. You might actually get him to come live before that Monday night game if he's going in. Yeah. So, I think the 5 straight playoff losses will be more of a footnote. I think he would have a shot, but if you look at that era. I mean, AJ clearly number 1, Geno. So there's some people from that team that need to go in ahead of him.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Nixon even. Mm-hmm. I know they only overlap for a couple years, but it's tough. Even the group right now, it feels like the last few years we knew exactly what it was going to be, like who was going to get voted in. I have no idea. I don't know what the fans are going to do this year. You can make an argument for any of them.
Yeah, I think it's Corey. I think he's the one that I think's getting in.
I don't know if he helped or hurt himself with that rant last year, though.
I don't. But yeah, he's been on my show every Monday. We're having a whole bunch of fun with changing.
He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it.
Yes, he does. He absolutely deserves it. But that's the thing, Jay. We keep bringing this up over and over and over again. I mean, we got so many guys that, like we said, should have already been in, and we got more guys that are coming that we got to start voting for.
Yeah.
We don't want to leave these guys that should have been in. We don't want to vote them in after they're gone. So that's why I keep saying, why don't they do like 4, like 2 for the fans, and then I don't know, have some of the former players, have the Ring of Honor guys, the players vote some in or something like that, or do something like that, because I don't think we're going to run out of players. I mean, we got a lot. I mean, we still got there's still 10, 20 players, I think, total on the list, somewhere around there. I mean, you're the list guy, not me. I'm just kind of throwing numbers out. But I know there's a lot of players out there still.
I think there's 12 that are eligible this year. I don't like that idea, because then it's almost like an asterisk. It's like a senior committee kind of thing if you let the hall guys vote. Just keep it the same way. But I would like to see it be Lamar and Bob Trumpy this year. They're the 2 oldest guys on the list. I think everybody's still a little stung by Ken going in after his passing. I don't think anybody wants to see that again. No. I don't think if you're not a first ballot guy, it's like it's as long as you get in at some point, you're in. And I don't think there's any pride in saying I got in ahead of this guy or I went in after this guy. So I would really like to see it be Lamar and Bob Trumpy. I don't think that's going to be the case, because there's a lot of young season ticket holders that are voting that don't remember those guys.
Yeah, right. I mean, I voted for Leap and Lamar, and I voted for Corey. And if I get both those in next year, it's definitely Trumpy and either Lap or Jim Breach. Because for me, Jim Breach it's just numbers. All-time leading scorer. That's a guy that I think should be in. Just my opinion. If you got the numbers, like Corey Dillon's all-time leading rusher, he should be up there. Jim Breach, all-time leading scorer, he should be up there. That's just the way I look at things. But everybody can vote for
if you go most deserving, it's Lapp and Dillon this year, because just what Lapp has meant beyond his playing career. He's Mr. Bengal. Yes.
Oh yes, Lapp is awesome. I mean, he's been here since before I was born. 1974, he got drafted.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been here for over 50 years in one organization, except for the 2 years he went and played the USFL, and he deserves to be in this. And you ask him about it, he just kind of shrugs it off. That's Lapp.
That's who he is.
That's who Lapp is.
But he plays it off like that, but it would mean more to him than any other person. Absolutely. And he can downplay it as much as he wants, but we all know it would be very emotional. It would mean the world to him for that to happen.
Absolutely, and he deserves it. So I mean, I would love to see him get in as well. Now this week we come out two things real quick before I let you go. T. Higgins signed his contract earlier than I thought he was going to, and the Bengals announced that the Bengals would be on Hard Knocks. First, are you surprised he signed his contract as early as he did? Because I thought it was going to be toward closer to the season before he signed it.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I didn't think it was out of the realm of possibility, but to do it right as soon as minicamp's over and they break, I thought, if he was going to report for the first day of camp, maybe he signs it on the first day of camp. And I almost wonder if this was kind of a gentleman's agreement between the team and T, where, hey, you sign it now and you say you're going to be here for the start of training camp and give us a full training camp. We won't tag you next year. Right. I don't. That's not anything anybody's told me. I'm not reporting that. It's just I wonder if that's what's going down there. I think it's great news for Bengals fans. I mean, you think about it. Last year, Burrow with the calf. 2 years ago with the appendectomy. The year before that, T was a little slowed by a hamstring early in camp. I mean, this is going to be the first time. Then the year before that was COVID.
Don't say it.
Yeah. Well, 90 guys on the field for the start of training camp. That is rare.
Yes. I gave a buddy, Greg, we call him Big Sandwich. We went to the first training camp, and I was doing my little videos or whatever down there. He's like, it's going to be the first time Burrow's going to have a completely healthy training camp. And then 2 days later, bam, daggone it, Greg.
Well, Burrow even said it at his press conference after the first practice, and now this year, the second day of training, he did hurt the calf on the second day of training camp last year. Mm-hmm. This year, the second day of training camp is also the day of the Foo Fighters concert at Great American Ballpark and my wife's birthday. Ooh. So I am really hoping that is an uneventful second day of training camp this year, because we have pit tickets to see Foo Fighters.
Oh, there you go. For your sake, I hope it is, because people don't understand. Beat writers, you don't have hours. When stuff happens, you guys got to write about it. That's because I remember last year we were all at 50 West, and Paul was doing his podcast there, and it was Burrow's contract.
Yeah, we just wrapped up. We're all drinking beer. It's like, well,
exactly. We're all drinking beers, having a good time. They're like, all of a sudden, ding, ding. I'm going, did you guys see this? They're like, crap, the young run and get your laptops out and start running. I'm like, have fun, boys. I can sit here and drink beer. I don't have to do that. But yeah, that's what people. I think it's a fun job, but sometimes I know it's kind of like, can you guys just do it in the normal 8 to 5, normal business hours?
Yeah, I was at Home Depot on Saturday when T. Higgins signed. I had to go sit in my car and write it on my phone.
That's talent right there, Jay. That's talent. All right, so Hard Knocks real quick. Do you think, since it's during the season, and it's different, they're doing not just of the Bengals, but the whole AFC North. Yeah. Some people said this might be a distraction. I don't think it will be. Do you think it could be a distraction for the Bengals during the season?
I don't think it'll be a distraction. You notice them; they're there, but they very quickly bleed into the background. And now that's for us. That's for reporters who are in there in the locker room. I think it might be different, a little distracting to have Hard Rock net cameras in the meeting rooms where they're not used to having any media at all. But at practice, the open locker rooms, the games, the joint practices, all that, there's so much media around that it's just another couple cameras. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I thought
Me
the
too.
end season with the Dolphins last year was fantastic, and my wife, the storylines were so good, and my wife's not even a huge fan, and she really got into it. It brings out the personal, emotional side of the game, and I think it's gonna be great. What better division to do than this division? And on one hand, you're like, well, it's they're doing a whole division instead of one team, so you're only going to get 1/4 of the coverage. Well, if you think about it, a regular Hard Knocks is 5 or 6 weeks in training camp.
Right.
This is going to be the entire season.
Right.
So each show might be split up between 4 teams, but the overall coverage is going to be pretty comprehensive. And maybe on a given week, if the Bengals are playing the Ravens, they might just focus on those 2 teams.
Right.
There's nothing that says they have to split it up 15 minutes for each team. So I'm fascinated to watch it, and just I hope nothing newsworthy breaks, because again, that'll be Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. That's the last thing I want to do is have something break and I gotta write a story now.
Exactly. All right, Jay, it's 5:55. We'll let you get the heck out of here so you can go enjoy your concert. Real quick, tell everybody about your 2 podcasts, because you still do one with Jay as well, and any stories or anything you want to plug before I let you go.
Yeah, so the Summer of Lists. I've currently yesterday I had the worst Bengals draft picks of all time. I know there's a lot of debate about that, where Kajana should be, if he should even be on that list. Yeah. Today, the best Bengals draft picks of all time dropped. Sometime soon. I'm working on the nicknames now. I don't know when that's going to come out, but they're just going to keep going. And if you have any ideas for lists, by all means, hit me up with the Twitter handle there, or the X handle below. The PFN Bengals podcast with Dallas Robinson, we're actually going on hiatus, so we'll be back right around training camp time. And then the Growler, PD and J with Paul Dehner Jr., we're going to keep doing those throughout this summer break, and those drop on Wednesday. So would love to have likes, subscribes, views, all that for all that stuff. And then ProFootballNetwork.com, all my work is there, free to read.
And you and Dallas do a great job, and I'm glad you guys actually got to meet in person finally a couple weeks ago.
It was awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully Dallas will come in town, because you got to come in town and have a beer with me and hang out or something. So
He came in, but he was pretty busy. He had a full weekend, but hopefully they'll be back again, and maybe you guys can catch up.
Sounds good. All right, Jay, appreciate you, man. Have fun with the
thanks,
concert.
Jeff.
Take it easy. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm hoping Trags is going to join me. He said he would, and I'm trying to message him to find out what is going on. So we'll see. I know he saw the link. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, between now and then, it could be just us talking until hopefully Trags gets on here. Dustin, sorry I couldn't get that. Jay's got to get going, so let me bring this up here. Jay, if you can look behind the wall of the Bengals front office, do you truly think they are somewhat sweating out the big contracts coming their way? Chase having to build around 2 mega deals. That would have been a good question to ask Jay. You got it in. I saw it, and you got it in right as I was getting ready to let Jay go. Yes, if Trags shows up, I'll ask that to Trags. Hopefully he will. We'll see what's going on. But we can discuss what you guys thoughts on. I saw Bro Jack here says 13-4. The records for the Bengals this year. I don't think that's too far off. I really do. I gotta really sit down and look. But I always pick just the division. I always pick us to go 500. It's just because it's so hard to win divisional games on the road, and not that the Bengals can't. It's just, to me, it's the basis of how I pick, the season. I usually start with the games that in divisions 500, and then I go through the other teams that we're playing. But the thing is, to me, we've got to really. I've said this on this show for the last 4 years, probably 6 years since I've been doing this show. We got to get off to a good start. We have to. And I don't mean 6-0 or anything, but at least 2-1, 3-4, or excuse me, 4-3, somewhere around there. A winning record, a winning month, because the schedule is set up for us to do that. The last 2 years we got the horrible starts, and in was it 20 we rided it, and then we took it all the way to the AFC Championship game. Last year, we were on the verge of doing the same thing, minus the Texans game, and then Joe got hurt. But before that, those 4 games, I think we won, like, was it 4 in a row, 5 in a row? We were ramping up like they have done the last couple of years. I want to be able, like I said, I would love to get off to a 6-0 start. That would be awesome. That is the thing to do. But anymore with the way that just NFL teams do training camp, like Corey's been on, there's no 2-a-days. They don't really. Sometimes they don't practice with helmets on. They just put helmets on, last week of OTAs, and then they did a little bit during mini camp. And there's, like I said, there's no OTAs in training camp anymore. Nobody really plays the starters during the season. So it's not just the Bengals. I mean, nobody really gets off to great starts. I mean, Kansas City Chiefs don't get off to a good start. The LA Rams, when they were rolling, they didn't get off to good starts. So it's not abnormal, but I don't want to get behind the 8 ball like we did last year. Now we don't have the big division starting off with the big division games like we did last year, which that helps a lot. So that's one of the key things is getting off to a good start, a fast, quick start, especially with new offensive coordinator. We got a passing coordinator. There's a new right tackle. There's different things to this offense that have got to click quickly, And I do think this offense, talent-wise, is better. It's probably the best talent-wise that Jackpot Joey has had his entire career. I mean, the tight end room alone is the best tight end room he's ever had. Whoever they put on the team. I mean, all those guys can play tight end. They can all catch. I mean, you even count Drew Sample. Drew Sample is proof last year he can catch. He's more of a blocker and stuff like that, but he can make some plays when countable. But we're not going to need him to this year because of the talent we have, because of Gesicki, because of Alt, because of Tanner Hudson, because of the guys that we have in the room. So that right there, it's going to be. I'm really curious as to how much Painter is going to use the tight end compared to how Callahan did, because I don't believe that Joe Burrow doesn't like throwing to the tight end. I think Joe will throw it to whoever is freaking open, and he trusts them. If you're open and he trusts you to catch the ball, he'll throw it to you. I really do truly believe that. I just don't think the offense was schemed for the tight end to be emphasized. And I'm not saying it's going to be emphasized this year, but if you got a guy like Gesicki on there, you're going to throw the ball to him. Now, he might be more in the slot than tight end this year, but that's still a quote-unquote tight end that is going to catch the ball. All right, let's see here. You guys got some. All right, Paul Painter says the tie is in the division. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let's hear. Dustin here. Obviously, I have high expectations. However, I like to go into the season not expecting anything. Example, last 2 years, we thought we were going to have a high-flying offense only to be inconsistent. That's probably a better way to go through it than I do, Dustin, because I'm always looking, like I say, I always look at everything through orange-colored sunglasses. But I just look at stuff and I'm like, they should. They should start off good. This should be a high-flying offense. The talent is there. That's why I have a hard time not believing that, because of the weapons we have, the quarterback we have. It should be like this, And like Jay said, with the bringing back of Von Bell, I think our defense, just bringing back Von Bell alone, I think it's going to make our defense a lot better because everybody's going to get lined up in the right position. The calls are going to be right. All right, Brad. The way the Bengals played in the rain last year, they need to prepare with sprinklers on this year. Yeah, that might help. I also think it had something to do with Joe Burrow's calf too, but yeah. Mark, the new way of looking at things, which is why I think you see more disjointed practice, getting more rep starters versus starters, and without it on tape. I like. You mean the team versus team practices where they practice together? I honestly think if they go to 18 games, which I think eventually they're going to go to 18 games, and I leave you to 2 preseason games, you're going to see more practices with teams together. What do they call it? Intertwined? I can't think of the word. I think that's going to be more prevalent years down the road because they're at least practicing against somebody. They can, they're not at full go, but at least you can do some stuff against somebody else other than your team to at least mentally prepare to play. So I can see that going down there. What else to say here? Especially with push to get rid of, exactly, it's push to get rid of more preseason games. Pork chop. Joe threw in a tight end, 2 tight ends in college all time. Yeah. I don't think he doesn't like throwing 2 tight ends. I mean, Moss was one of his favorite targets, and Thaddeus Moss was one of his favorite targets in college. So this whole narrative like, Joe doesn't like tight end, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Paul, 12-4-1 tie in the division. Oh, you got a tie? Oh, I got you. You got a tie? I hope not. I hate ties. Ties are like kissing your sister, man. Like they're so. I still think their time is so confusing. So I mean, it's some of the players still. I mean, I think some of the players still don't know that the game would actually end in a tie, which I wish they would do something. I don't know. I hate ties. Just get it to come like the NHL. I would say do this in a playoff game. I think they play till you win. But the NHL they have shootouts. I mean, say I have a tie. Just our field goal kickers are so good, and we got Money Mac, one of the best kickers around. Start from the 50-yard line and see who can make it. I don't know. Just do something to try to actually come up with a winner. Instead of a tie. So we'll see. I'll be on till 6 if you want to jump on still. Actually, 6:30. Text and Trags. This is live TV here. See, not texting. See here. 6:30. So we'll see if Trags jumps on or not. So moving on with we'll do some Ring of Honor discussion here. And when Jay said that he liked to get, I can't disagree with this. This is why I wish they'd have more than 2. I can't disagree with Bob Trumpy, Lamar Parrish, and Lapp. All those guys get in. I would love this. This is why I wish it was 4. All those guys get in along with Corey Dillon. Those guys, all 3 of them, should have already been in. Deserve to be in because you can't write the Bengals history without those guys. You can't. And that's the thing. You can't write the Bengals history without Corey Dillon. You can't. And those are some of the criteria I think people should look at when you're voting on the Ring of Honor. If you are a younger season ticket holder, please do me a favor. And if you don't know who Bob Trumpy is, if you don't know who Leaping Lamar Parrish is, you don't know who these guys are, you don't know who Tim Crumry is, you don't know who, I don't know, pick somebody. Somebody from the 70s, 80s. Go look up their stats. Go. It's YouTube. You can go look up highlight tapes on them. Bob Trumpy, in my opinion, changed the tight end position. He was one of the first real tight end weapons, per se, in the NFL. And people like me, I remember more on the radio or television broadcast than I do as a football player. But I do know, I did watch his highlights. And Bob Trumpy was a very good tight end. He needs to be in the Ring of Honor. Leaping Lamar Parrish, him and Ken Riley were 2 of the best quarterback duos in the 70s. And Ken Riley's in, Lamar should be in. I mean, these things that, again, should have already been in. This is why I keep going back to we need 4, at least 4 in. Let the people vote 4 of them in. Open it up. Just 2 is going to take forever, and we're just not going to. These guys are going to be gone before we get them in, and that's the thing. Is we don't want these guys to not be here when they get in. So, like I said, I voted for Lamar Parrish. I voted for Corey Dillon. When Corey and Lamar get in, I'm probably voting for Lapp and Trumpy, or Lapp and Breach. Because, again, Breach to me should be in because he's all-time leading scorer. But again, Lapp should be in because he's Mr. Bengal. I mean, and He's such a humble guy. Lap is awesome. He'll come on my show. It doesn't need to come on my show. He's got so many other things to do, and he's always answers me back on DMs and everything. And when he gets a chance, he comes on, and he's so down to earth, dude. I mean, seriously, he has been on the radio, a public figure here in Cincinnati since 1974. Like I said, I was the year before I was born. So he's been known and in the public eye for almost 50 years in Cincinnati. I absolutely love listening to him on the radio. I don't care if he's a homer. He's our homer. Him and Dan, I do a great job. Nothing against anybody else that has ever called games with Lap, but Dan Horde and Dave Lappel, I will take them against anybody on the radio broadcast. I try so hard when I'm watching it down here, and it's a road game or whatever, I'm watching it down here in Ice Cave, of trying to sync up the TV with the radio so I can hear Lap and Dan instead of whoever they have on the national broadcast, because it is so awesome. And like the whole thing, bam, 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 coffin nails, bam, 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 that is replaced, and this one belongs to the Reds for me. That's where we're at. That's how iconic that has become, I think. And what was so cool about it, it was just organic. You know, Dan Horde was on my show, and he just said it. He said coffin nails, and Lap just went bam, bam, bam. And that's so Lap. That's so Dave Lapham. You know, he's got a little John Madden in him. Bam, bam, whop, bam. You know, if you ever used to watch John Madden back in the day, I did used to enjoy him. But Lap is one that definitely deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. You know, Corey Dillon needs to be in there. That's who I'm rooting for. All right, let's see here. All right, Kevin. Hockey is 3-on-3, then a shootout, overtime, until you find a winner play. Yeah, there. See, they do something. They do something different. And because it used to be a shootout, then they switched to 3-on-3, and they did all kinds of stuff. Right? They've changed the rules the last couple of years. That's why, for a tie, it would be nice if the NFL would do something to try to break the tie. That's all I'm saying. Paul, the new kickoff rules are going to change, and ties are going to tick up. That's an interesting take. I wonder, why do you think that? Because, I mean, before they changed all the rules of being able to hit people on kickoffs, we would have more scoring. And I don't think we had more ties then, because I think with the new kickoff rules, we're going to have more scoring, which I'm all for. I mean, because this, you know, I mean, it's getting to the point where they should just throw the ball down the field or just start from the 20-yard line, because nobody was ever just kicking to the end zone. And, you know, this would make them not kick it to the end zone. I think it goes to 35, I think is what it is. They want to get it in this target area, which I think is, it's going to make the game more fun. You know, and there's going to be a lot less hits. You can't do the wedge anymore. There's going to be a lot less injuries, I should say, not hits, a lot less injuries. And it's going to be more exciting. Now, one thing I'm curious about is who is going to be the kick returner for the Cincinnati Bengals. Yoshi, will Chuck Sizzle do it, or will he just be on punts? You know, who's going to be that guy? Because you're going to have an opportunity to score or at least get very good field position, better than you did the last couple of years. So it's putting a bigger emphasis on the kickoff than it has been since they started screwing around with the kickoff, I don't know, 10 years ago or however long it's been now. So I'm very curious about that. I don't know if it's going to tick up the ties or not. We'll see. Brad. Flip a coin to see which team kicks a field goal first. Then that team chooses the distance, and you go back each yard and try. After that, whoever misses loses the game. Just thought, yeah, something like that. That would be cool. Just something instead of a freaking tie. I don't like ties. You know, I mean, it would suck though. I mean, the question is, would you rather have a tie or would you rather lose? I don't know. I'd rather have an outcome. I trust our kicker better, that we would have a better shot. My kicker's better than yours. Kind of where I'm at on that. So I'd hate to lose on that, but it'd be like losing on a last-second field goal. You hate to lose on that too. That's kind of what this would be. the pressure of winning the game would be on the kicker. So it would just, to me, that would be, I don't know, as exciting as a game-winning kick, but basically that's what you're doing. You're kicking for the game, kicking for the win. So that's something that I wish they would try to adjust. They never have brought anything up about that. So I don't think it's going to matter. All right, Dustin. I've been watching a lot of UFL this year, and I didn't see the return factor in as much as people think it has. But obviously, they are different levels of athletes. Yeah, and that's the thing. Excuse me. There's different level of athletes. Yeah, and that's where I think it's going to be more of a game changer. I'm not saying we're going to have a massive amount of kickoff returns. I just think it's going to be more exciting plays. The ball is going to move. A guy's going to catch it and he's going to run instead of fair catch and the ball goes over his head in the end zone. That we're not going to have that. It's going to be an actual play. They're going to be able to do something with the ball. So you don't come back for a commercial and they kick off and all right, we'll be right back. It's going to keep the game moving and a little bit more flow to the game, I think, than just kicking it to the back of the end zone. All right, Paul. Let's see here. The kickoff this year should be a highlight of the game and potentially the most exciting. It could be. Like I said, I think it's going to be more explosive. Than it has been. And just for the aspect, because they're going to have the ball. Most of the time, they're going to have the ball in their hand, and they're going to be running. Because the kicking team is not going to have a running start. They both line up and they run back. One runs forward, one runs backwards. So gets the ball. It's going to be more. It's going to be harder to stop them, to be honest. But also they can't have the wedge, so that brings the. It's even. That's the thing. I don't think there's an advantage to either side. I'll put it to you that way. You can't do the wedge, and you can't get a running start. But the only person who has the advantage is the guy with the ball. That's the exciting part of trying to figure out how he set blocks up and get down the field. So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it won't be as exciting as I think it will be, but who knows? We'll see. All right, guys. Well, does not look like Trags is going to join us. Most likely something came up and he was unable to join. But he's seen everything, so I don't know. Anyway, tomorrow is Friday this year. Who do I have on Friday? I got Skinny. I got Richard Skinner. He's joining the show with me on Friday. Now let me talk to you guys a little bit about this tailgate, or I don't really call it a tailgate, pre-game event we're going to have at the Moorline House. If you don't know where the Moorline House is, it's right down there at the corner of Marion Way and Joe Nuxall, or right across from GABP. We're going to be in the beer garden. We are going to be selling tickets. We are going to be donating some of the money or portion of the money to charity. You have a breakfast bar. I think he's getting like steak, lobster. I know you're going to get access to the new bourbon room down there. Able to smoke cigars, obviously outside. We're going to have a DJ down there. Corey Dillon is scheduled to come in for 3 times. Hopefully 4, because the 4th one should be the Ring of Honor. I get Icky Wood's going to be down there at least once, maybe twice. I got to talk to Icky and his sons. Cincy Hat wants to be a part of it as well. So we are going to have some pretty big names down there hanging out with us. And it's going to be 3 hours before every game. So then I'm doing a live show down there on Tuesdays, which will be moving our Monday show to Tuesday. So I have Corey and I'll have Cap with me on the show. Maybe sometimes at the restaurant. I don't know what to see, but for sure we'll be doing a link like we normally do. And hopefully maybe I'll get some other Bengal players to join me as well. That would be awesome, but that'll be every Tuesday down there at the Warren Lager House. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really, like I said, I can't wait to announce the full details yet. But I know it's happening. I can tell you that we are going to do this, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope you guys can join us and just have an absolute blast. It's gonna be an upscale tailgate, a little something different than anything that's down there. Nothing against anything that anybody else is down there, but everybody's got a tailgate. Everybody's got, you can go into the bar and have drinks and stuff like that. And I hear you're gonna have the delicious Moline Lager House beer. If you've ever had it, it's awesome. I haven't had a beer there yet that I don't like. Their food is amazing. The atmosphere is cool. It's right there, close to Paycor Stadium, right in the heart of everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And hey, if it's cold, we'll be inside. If it's raining, we'll be inside. So that'll be kind of different. I can help you out if you're going to the game. But as far as the tailgate or pregame show, it'll be inside and it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about this. My thanks to Greg, the owner of Moreline House, for giving me the opportunity to do this. It is so cool. I ain't going down there Tuesday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys can join us. All right, let's see here. Tony, wait, I go. Dust here. Ice. If you were out in Paris with Joe, what kind of style would you pull out? Fishnet shirt or man purse? I can tell you what, not do either one of those. That is for sure. I have no style. I would probably wearing the shorts, cargo shorts, and t-shirt. Probably Bengals stuff, to be honest. If I was there. And I'd be walking around Paris and people would be saying "Who Day." Tony, actually, have been over there. I'll be over a lot by the stadium for tailgating. Awesome, Tony. We'll stop by the Moreline House. Brad, any plans for away games? Not as of right now. I don't have any. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, I don't have any plans for away games. They were a lot of fun. Mr. Croft. Wow. Yeah, I have to ask him. Yeah, I have to ask him next time. Yeah, exactly. I have to ask Trags or hell, I can ask Skinny tomorrow. Remember, if you're back on tomorrow, ask the question tomorrow, and Skinny can answer it for you maybe. So I got him on tomorrow. Jay is enjoying himself. He's heading to the Foo Fighters. Anyway, let's get the heck on out of here. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on ZTV, YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Like I said, we're at the Moreline Lager House each and every Sunday and every Tuesday. So shout out to them. Also shout out to Midwest's Best Barbecue and Creamery. It's right there, out there on Ward's Corner exit off 275. Best wings in town. Please tell Nicole, Tim and Nicole, I said hi, and tell them I sent you. Also, if you're looking for windows and doors, check out Meyer Window and Door and more at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. And you got Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. My favorite little bar here in the heart of Cheviot. Big ass TV screen, beer trucks. I keep saying beer trucks, food trucks. They have beer trucks, they get beer there. So there's beer trucks there, but they have food trucks that you can actually buy food off of, and free parking, all right there, right in the heart of Cheviot. Again, if you go there, tell them I sent you. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Like I said, Rich Skinner is on tomorrow for a fun Friday show. Other than that, you guys, thanks for watching, and you guys hit the thumbs up, like, share, all that cool stuff. That's your sports, baby. See ya!